Soviet-era minibuses. Some are quite attractive, while others are not. But in the early 1960s, a new minibus appeared that was designed with good looks and new materials. And it was doomed from the start. This is the story of the SARB START, the minibus that was sabotaged from the very beginning. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now, not too long ago, I did a video on the ZIL 118, which was a smaller-sized Soviet bus. However, there were many other Soviet minibuses, and one of them was called the SARB START. Now, the SARB START was very interesting because it had some very, very nice styling to it. However, it also used new materials in its manufacture, and it also had a number of problems with it that were manufactured in other ways. It's a really fantastic story, so let's get started in learning about the SARB START Soviet minibus. When looking at some old vehicles, the question arises, why did they stop producing them? Was creating something interesting and stylish at that time a crime? The question can be asked specifically about a rather bizarre minibus from the now defunct Soviet Union. The vehicle's actual name is the SARB START, but is generally known as START for short. It was basically at first manufactured by two guys in their garage in what is now Eastern Ukrain, but the Soviet government took notice and proceeded to run the project into the ground in its usual spectacular fashion. START was produced from 1963 to 1968, and it was the brainchild of a pair of young innovators, an engineer named A.S. Antonov and a designer named Yuri Ivanovich Andros. Andros, who designed most of the vehicle's actual body, did so with an eye not toward beauty, but rather toward reducing drag, yet still keeping a spacious passenger or freight compartment. And he believed the START to be quite ugly, according to an interview. The prototype was completed in October of 1963 by the fledgling Severodonetsk base of auto repair services, also known as SARB, using many components from the GAZ-21 automobile. The minibus's new fiberglass body was something of a breakthrough in plastics in the Soviet automotive industry. And to achieve the necessary rigidity, metal reinforcements were laminated into the plastic shell. During the production process, the team faced many problems because the technology for the manufacture of fiberglass bodies was not yet refined. But the enthusiasm of the workers and their desire to prove themselves knew no bounds. The first undertaking to solve these issues was a large 1/10 scale model of the minibus, which they called START, and hence the final name of the vehicle. Andros even had an early body shell dropped from 40 feet. It survived. The final product, however, was a design gem. In total, less than 200 of these minibuses were to be produced, but the exact number is unknown. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the SARB START minibus. Number 1, length is 5.53 meters. Number 2, width is 1.98 meters. Number 3, height is 2.08 meters. Number 4, empty weight is 1,770 kilograms, although some sources state 1,320 kilograms. Number 5, engine is the ZMZ-21A from the passenger car GAZ-21 Volga. Number 6, passenger capacity is 10 to 12, depending upon configuration. And finally, number 7, top speed is 110 kilometers per hour. In January of 1964, the two men were given the go-ahead to start serial production of the SARB START. But by late 1965, problems started to be reported with the SARB START minibus's body. Andros was confused, given the high-quality fiberglass combined with the GRP paste he'd been given. Or so he thought. However, sure enough, on many of the 1965-built Starts, the body started to become warped. And Andros never learned until many years later that he was being supplied with low-quality fiberglass. Very low quality. In 1966, after about 100 vehicles were produced, Andros had had enough. He then turned production over to the Lugansk car assembly plant, which built 20 minibuses. These later Lugansk versions can be spotted by its differing aft passenger window design. About 10 more minibuses under the Donbass brand were produced at the motor depot of the Glavdonbass Troy Trust in Donetsk. From 1967 to 1968, the last 70 START minibuses were built at the Korostin Auto Repair Plant. The buses were painted in white, blue, yellow, and pink. And a few of these were used as luxury taxis in Moscow. In the city of Severodonetsk, these machines operated as minibuses from 1968 to 1976. But only about 10 of them ran on 3 regular fixed routes. Others operated as tourist buses in Crimea. A local police station along the Sea of Azov had a START bus that operated until the early 1980s. One copy of the minibus was dedicated to Petro Shelest, the first secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Ukraine. It was equipped with a special KGB communication system mounted in the roof of the body. Fortunately, about 4 of the START minibuses survive to this day, some of them fully restored. Neither Andros nor Antonov ever designed another vehicle. The SARB START was a terrific idea that was far ahead of its time. Unfortunately, it was too far ahead of its time in the wrong country and being produced under the wrong system of government to succeed in any way, shape, or form. And so there it is, the story of the SARB START, the plastic Soviet minibus. Possibly a good idea, but poor execution. Now, this may not be the end of the SARB START because a Russian design firm had come up with a new concept for the SARB START called the START 21. Now, this is probably just a design exercise. I doubt it's going to become a reality, but it's something interesting, and at least someone was thinking of reviving the idea of a fiberglass minibus, whether it's a good idea or not. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the SARB START plastic Soviet minibus. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.